Hello cyclists, welcome! Today I present you a very cool, very comfortable bicycle. It's the Commuter Plus from REX. First of all, I have to start with the unboxing experience, and that is something that can differ a lot, especially when you're ordering or expecting a rather cheap or a budget e-bike. Then it can be really tough and for me almost impossible to assemble and build up the bicycle, but not with the Commuter Plus. It was a real pleasure because when the box arrived there was a silver ring, and when I was pulling it, the box was opening and inside was the almost, I would say, up to 95% assembled e-bike, the Commuter Plus. The only thing I had to do was indeed adjust the handlebars and put on the pedals, and then I could take this beauty here already for a test ride. So that was definitely a double thumbs up for me, because this is the first interaction and the first touch point with the brand and with the manufacturer. And if this is a really good experience, then the rest will follow. And one thing, this is also really important, that REX, which now belongs to myebikes.com, offers within Germany 200 different service points, and they do even have a mobile service unit, because the worst thing that could happen to a commuter, and this is a commuter bike, is that your bike is not working properly. So there definitely you see already they have the user, the cyclist, in mind. Now, I said it a lot, this is a commuter e-bike, the Commuter Plus. But what is the Plus and why is it a commuter e-bike? And let's take this bike here for a test ride. In my opinion, the Commuter Plus combines especially two things concerning the whole riding experience. The first of all is, and this is very crucial because you're spending a lot of time on a commuter bike, is of course the sitting position. And the Commuter Plus offers a very upright, very comfortable sitting position. So the frame geometry is very compact, and therefore you sit, so the saddle and the handlebars are pretty close to each other, and therefore you sit very upright. In combination with a stem that is adjustable, and I would say it's even possible to sit more upright, and there's a teeny tiny bit more space, or the option to sit a bit more not really lean forward, but to put the handlebars a few centimeters further down. And the handlebars itself are bent backwards, and therefore for me it's the perfect angle for the whole hands, wrist, arms, shoulders. So super comfortable. In addition to the Suntour suspension fork. Suntour is a very reliable, very well established manufacturer of suspension forks, and you can even adjust the suspension. So if you want it rather soft like I do, because I cycle a lot over cobblestone, or if you maybe don't want any suspension at all. And it has a mid-motor from Ananda with 70 Newton meters of torque. And people, we are approaching a little teeny tiny incline, and I'm first level of pedal assistance, 16 kilometers an hour, and I have to push a bit harder. Switching to the second level of pedal assistance and easily going up 18 kilometers an hour. So if you have rather hilly surroundings, or if you cycle further distances, this motor with the 70 Newton meters is definitely a joy for you. You get all the support of the motor, the 250 watts, like immediately. That is why quite many rides I took is that I was cycling without any motor assistance at all. And that was working really well, because the bike is pretty heavy. It weighs a bit more than 25 kg, but it has a Nexus 7 gearing system, and therefore I was absolutely okay even cycling without any motor assistance. when I did choose the motor, to be honest, here in Hamburg, as it is pretty flat, I was cycling only in the first level of pedal assistance. So that's really up to you. If you want to use a lot of your muscle strength, then you will be absolutely fine. Due to the fact that it's a mid-motor, so where usually the strength comes from, it's also located in the middle, like your legs. I think it's the most natural place for a motor to be, because there are also motors that are in the rear, then you feel rather being pushed. But the Ananda, as I said, is a mid-motor. Also, the 7 gears from Nexus were very well balanced when I was cycling without the motor. With the motor, I could reach up to 30 kilometers an hour, so that was super easy to reach. But if you want to go faster, if it's possible in the city, then it will be quite hectic for your legs. But otherwise, I thought the 7 gears were very well balanced. The battery is located in the down tube, and you're super flexible concerning charging because you can take out the battery. The battery gave me a range of approximately 70-80 kilometers. That always, of course, depends on how you cycle, so how much support you want, how the weather conditions are, and of course how heavy you are. Also, one thing I really enjoyed are the ergo grips. I mean, your hands, if they don't feel comfortable on the handlebars, it's a no-go for me. And I did really like that they are pretty sticky. So even when because it is raining today every now and then, the grips felt pretty safe and there's enough space for my wrists. So definitely very comfortable. The motor gives you enough acceleration so you reach easily 25 kilometers an hour, and therefore you need brakes that work really reliable and very well. And the Commuter Plus has Shimano hydraulic disc brakes that worked perfectly. So even when it was a bit slippery and the conditions weren't like perfect, I always felt really safe and secure. So for me, the whole setup of the Commuter Plus is really cool, especially when you have a closer look at the price of under 1,700 euros. As a commuter, of course, you do want to transport like maybe all the stuff you need for work, or maybe you want to drop off your child or children before work. Then with the rear carrier that has a mix system, you can easily install panniers or a child seat. And the whole bike has a load capacity of 120 kg. That's actually definitely one of the upper ranges, because that offers, even for taller or heavier cyclists, even the option to carry more. Speaking about the height of cyclists, I'm 174 centimeters, so I'm in the middle, what the manufacturer says this bike is suitable for, because they say it's from 160, I think 62 centimeters up to 185 centimeters tall people. And for me, as you can see, the bike fits really well. The battery of this bicycle is located here in the down tube, and it offers you like the 100% flexibility because you can take out the battery. It's super easy, cannot fall out, and then you charge it for approximately 5 hours, and it has a range of, the manufacturer says, between 50 and 90 kilometers. That is very reasonable. I had a range of 75 kilometers, and of course it always depends on how heavy you are. Where are you cycling? So do you have a lot of steep inclines? Is there a lot of wind? Do you maybe cycle most of the time in the higher levels of pedal assistance? So this all you have to take into account, as well as the weather. Of course, in winter the battery suffers a little, not really suffering, but the range is then smaller, of course. The down point. For me, the pedals, because they are pretty cheap. They look a bit like plastic. They were a teeny tiny bit slippery when it was raining and I was wearing sneakers. So that is something that I, in the long term, for example, would swap to other pedals. The saddle also felt really comfortable for me. I also like the design. It's very chic, it's very clean, only a teeny tiny branding here. Speaking about the design, I really love the frame, how it's manufactured. You see no welding, and I really like the bluish, almost silvery matte finish. There's also a second color option, but I really did like my blue matte finish. As you can see, the design is also very special. It's sort of between modern and maybe traditional, but of course this is very individual. But I really liked it. It's absolutely okay. It's not too complicated. I think it fits into the overall concept of the Commuter Plus. The hydraulic disc brakes are super important. They are from Shimano and they're working really well. In Hamburg, it was raining a lot this summer, so I could really test how they perform even on slippery and wet surroundings or when the bicycle was really wet, but they were working really well. I also like the internal cable routing. As you can see here, there are quite a lot of cables, but they all disappear into the frame. Of course, every e-bike needs reflectors here underneath the front light and the rear light and within the tires. Lights. They do have a little light here attached to the handlebars. That was working really well. It has 40 lux and you can adjust the height. And due to the fact that it's assembled or attached to the handlebars, it follows where you are going. And I really like the LED option here that is located on the rear carrier. That comes as a standard. Also very bright and integrated into the reflector. Also a standard, two more things, like the bike stand that is very stable and very robust, because it's important. If you're commuting a lot, then of course you carry stuff in your panniers, in your basket, or you do have a child on the back, then you need a bike stand that is very sufficient and very stable. The second thing that comes as a standard are the mud guards. They worked really well when I was cycling also over cobblestone, so there was no rattling and no noises. And as you can see, in the back and in the front, they are very long, and they also have those additional mud flaps. They are really important because then they keep you very clean. Not dry, of course, because the rain comes from every direction. Also very comfortable were the tires. They are very broad and chunky, and the profile gave me the feeling of being very safe and secure even when I was cycling over underground like gravel. If you want to order this e-bike, then check out their website, myebikes.com. There you find this beauty here and also other really interesting and cool e-bikes. One more thing to the mid-motor. I did some research on Ananda because I haven't heard from it before, and I checked forums and did look a bit into the history, and it's rather in the lower price range but working very properly. So, but for the price of 1,700, even less euros, then you cannot expect like a Bosch motor. So therefore, if you're looking for a bicycle that works reliable and your budget is limited, then the Commuter Plus is definitely a bicycle that is super interesting for you. So for me, a thumbs up. And if you did like our video, also give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.